Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. This episode is brought to you by Door to Door Geek, one of our newest Patreon patrons. Today, Sergio and I have a special musical episode for everybody. We're joined by two patrons who will be telling us a story about their experience with Animal Crossing, sharing their favorite dream towns, and then finally, playing a Guess the Song game with us. And hello, Alex and Emilee with two E's, the infamous, both of you.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. We're glad to have both of you.
Yeah,
we're
thank you.
excited.
Yeah, so let's start actually with your stories about Animal Crossing. I think both of you have some stories to tell. So Emilee, do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, so my story with Animal Crossing actually started a couple years after the GameCube game actually came out. I actually didn't get a lot of exposure to video games in my childhood. The most we actually had was like those plug-and-play games that you would get at Walmart.
Oh.
And then, yeah. And then I don't know if you guys remember this, but there were those like Happy Meal toys that had the little handheld games. And
Yes,
that's pretty much it. Other than going to my cousin's house and playing some Nintendo or my brother's friend's house, we didn't have much. But then we had met my now step family, and my stepbrother had a bunch of video game systems, and it was just like a whole new world for me and my biological brother. And I didn't really play a lot of games on my own at first. I played with them both, just a lot of multiplayer games, Mario Kart, Mario Party, all that stuff. But sometimes they were very possessive over their games and would not let me play. So there was one day where my biological brother, he was in the shower, and I looked into his bedroom and I saw there was a game on the screen, and there was this boy with a huge head and had horns on his head. And it was winter time. And I was like, what is this? So I went in and I started moving around and walking around, and I went into this person's house, and it wasn't a person, it was a white elephant. And I talked to her, and she seemed to be very upset that my character did not deliver an item to somebody. So, and then it was at that time that my brother came in and was like, get out of my room. So I left, but eventually I did end up getting my own memory card and my very own GameCube. And I started playing Animal Crossing, and it was really the first game I ever got into, started playing a lot of. I found out about a lot of other video games through Animal Crossing, like Harvest Moon, those kind of RPG simulator games. And then eventually I stole my brother's copy of Wild World 2 so I could play that because he wouldn't let me play that either. Then got my copy of that. I met a lot of friends through Animal Crossing. My best friend, we've been friends for about a decade now, and she plays Animal Crossing, and a lot of online friends I've met through talking about Animal Crossing. I like to collect a lot of Animal Crossing merchandise and do a lot of art projects based on that. So
nice.
And
that's the rest awesome.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask, so you're telling me like your brother just like came upon, I don't know, now I'm kind of interested on how he got it and how he was just like kind of hoarding it away for himself and not showing anybody.
They all had their own bedrooms, and they just like, me and my sister didn't play a lot of games. So it's like whenever we wanted to play a game, they'd be like, no, you can't have that. I think my stepbrother had Animal Crossing before we met our now step family. So, and then my biological brother just happened to be playing it. But yeah, they hid all their video games from us, but then they would break them too. So,
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be the saddest thing if somebody were to just like break an Animal Crossing game that I was playing.
Oh,
gosh.
Jeez, my heart.
Yeah, they've never done it to my Animal Crossing ones, but they did break my my Zelda disc that had like Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and then the first two Zelda games. They broke that, and I was furious because I saved up all my birthday money in 7th grade to buy that.
So, what is it about Animal Crossing, or what was it about Animal Crossing at that point that really, I guess, connected with you?
I think it's just part of it was that I didn't get video games growing up, and I wasn't a very competitive person in general, and I just kind of like to relax and do my own thing. I think a lot of the design aspect really intrigued me, that I could make my own clothes and kind of do what I want without any restrictions. I don't know what it was about it. Something about it just attached me to it, and it got me into a lot of other just like really easygoing RPGs and simulation games. So I'm not a very competitive person, so this was like the best choice for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I am a competitive person, but I feel like everybody just needs that game that just lets them relax and have a good
Yes.
time doing their
Yeah.
own thing.
Hmm.
So, Alex, you had a story that you wanted to tell us about Animal Crossing.
Yes, I did. This is one I've been saving for a while. um, yeah, about 2 years ago or so, I was looking through the Animal Crossing tags on Tumblr because I was just starting to kind of get burnt out on New Leaf. So I was like, maybe if I find like a community or something or some people to play with, because none of my friends in real life really got into Animal Crossing. So I'm like, you don't know what you're missing, but okay. But I was looking around, and eventually I found someone advertising a Kick Chat for a bunch of Animal Crossing fans in general, just to get together and talk about Animal Crossing, trade stuff on New Leaf, and all that stuff. So eventually I went on there and made friends with a bunch of random people all over the states, all over the world. And there was one person in particular, actually, I really clicked with on there. And like over time, we just started talking more and more. Eventually went to like personal messages, eventually traded like social media, eventually traded like phone numbers, and like very, very long story short, we invented like catching like, legitimate feelings for each other. And realistically, by that point we already knew like she was in England and I'm over here in Texas. So it's like we started catching these feelings, but then it's like realistically, it's like, okay, this can't actually work. Like this is just something passing or something. We're just being silly. But eventually the feelings got stronger and stronger and stronger. And we were like, are we actually going to do it? Do you want to try this? Like, do you actually want to try this? And like, we're like, all right, let's do it. So we tried a long distance relationship. And I remember back in summer of last year, I actually took my first, because I've been on a plane before as a baby, but that was my first plane ride all by myself, all the way from outside of the States. And I was very nervous. I was very scared, but at the same time, like we met up and all that stuff. And again, very, very long story short, the relationship didn't work out. We ended up splitting up mutually about several months back. But I just thought it was really interesting that thanks to Animal Crossing, I got to have a new person in my life. I got to learn a lot of lessons about a relationship. I got to travel the world. I got to go to Europe. And it's like all of this was because I was looking around for Animal Crossing friends on Tumblr. And I just always thought that was such a cool thing.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
For a second though, I did think before you said social media, I thought you were gonna say we started trading social security numbers.
Yeah, just really, really trust her. Just gave her my credit card, social security. It was great.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. So I've always seen that like kick thing thrown around, especially like when I was part of like the Tumblr world, it's been ages now since I've done anything on Tumblr. But yeah, I guess like what was that group like? How do people hang out and talk about Animal Crossing there?
Very, very similar to how you have things running here in the Haken Discord, actually. It was there aren't like channels or anything. It's just one big chat room, but it was a lot smaller than Haken is now. So it was just like 20, 30 people all talking about Animal Crossing every now and then, and it'd get off topic and we just start talking, and it's like it was a lot like that. But yeah, it definitely wasn't. I had no idea Discord existed at the time, and had I known, I probably would have much preferred Discord now that I've spent a lot of time with it. But yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, man, that's so exciting. I always hear those stories about people kind of like finding relationships through Animal Crossing and that sort of thing. And, there's somewhere it works out, somewhere it doesn't. And still, it's pretty crazy to know that, like, just the game that people are playing together is becoming something that's, like, so tied to people's lives in a bigger way,
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we skipped over something, but I did want to know kind of like how you or how/when you got into Animal Crossing.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't have a older sister or brother playing the game, but when I was about 8 or 9, I had my GameCube, and I either got Population Growing from like Blockbusters or like a used game store or something. Somehow I got it, and I remember playing it for a couple days and like not fully comprehending that this was like real time. And I remember being very confused, and I wasn't upset, but I was just very confused. I was like, it's not like, I was used to games like Ocarina of Time where it kind of like day and night just kind of happened over like an hour or two. And it's like, it was weirding me out, and I couldn't understand like the tasks and everything. But it was about the time I got into Wild World a few years later is when I fully understood, and I guess my brain developed a little bit more. I was able to understand that that this was real time, day and night. You just kind of walk around and build your town and talk to animals. Taught me what a mortgage was, and yeah. Ever since Wild World, I would say I've just like fallen in love with the series and just gotten every game since then.
That's cool. That's fun. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think about like getting into the game like too young, because the first time I played it, I was ninth grade, high school, just starting high school. And so, yeah, my experience of it was like, oh man, I get this perfectly. I need a place of my own to just exist without anybody telling me what to do, as KK would put it. But yeah, I guess like at a younger age like that, you don't really get that every single day things are going to change. Like that real-time clock aspect to it doesn't quite click,
Yeah, it didn't yet.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad I got to get your backgrounds on Animal Crossing and some cool stories. But let's go ahead and move into our next topic, which is pretty cool. Emilee, you actually recommended this topic. And for anybody who doesn't know, Emilee and Alex, also known as Coconut on the Discord, they are both Patreon patrons. And I, as one of the rewards, have it set up so they could be on the show. That's just one of the rewards that's available. And yeah, so we're having 2 people on the show. This is the first time we're doing this, but Emilee, you recommended or requested that we talk about dream towns, because I thought it'd just be fun for like anybody who comes on to just, pick a topic that we talk about and, something we can run with. So yeah, I guess, do you want to kick it off with your dream town of choice?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So my favorite dream town, I found a couple years ago, probably a year after I got New Leaf. It's called the Lion Town or Lion Village. I don't know if you guys have been to that one. The katakana, it's a Japanese town, so the katakana actually spells Raion, but it's supposed to be lion. And as expected, most of the villagers are lions. There's a couple that aren't. But something about this town just really intrigued me. It's kind of, again, like that, I don't know what it was, just did. The moment I first entered the world, there's a bunch of patterns of like the villager lions' faces, spelling lion out around the town tree. There's this really cool pathway that they have throughout the whole town. And it looks very modern. The inner part of town looks very modern and has a lot of modern public work project stuff going on. Cool. The outer part of the town has like a Japan inspired thing going on with the bamboo trees and a lot of the Zen items. I think what I really liked about it though is it's like the first town I really went to where like people, the person who created the town left clothes on the floor for you to put on your character's body, and left like lollipops, ice cream cones, for your character to eat while you're there. And I loved it because one of the clothing items was like the letter jacket. And I just love the letter jacket style. And so I would go and put on those clothes and then walk around the town and talk to all the lion villagers. And then I would go to the roost, and then there's like a coffee cup sitting in front of the coffee shop. And I think one of the coolest things about it, and I actually have implemented some of this stuff in my town, but this is one thing that I really loved, and it doesn't do this anymore. I went there the other day, and I don't know why they just didn't do it this way, but the way they had it when I was going there before is that they would upload their dream town about 3 minutes before it would turn to 10 a.m. So you would hear a little bit of the 9 a.m. music, you would hear their town tune, and then it would turn to the 10 a.m. music. And the 10 a.m. music is one of my favorites. It's just like so chilled out. And it's summertime. And so I'm like walking around drinking my coffee, listening to that music, just very tranquil and just chilled out. It's a really, really cool place to visit.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find that it's always really nice when you go to a town and you just happen to like what time of day they decided to choose
exactly.
for that time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, how did you find this town?
I think I just went on Google and searched like a lot of like awesome dream towns. Of course, Aika was the first one I ever visited, and that one was really cool. And then there is another one. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. I thought it was called I think it was Arendelle, like named after Frozen. There's a couple different towns I really liked on there. One of them was like a rainy town with a bunch of stone patterns, a lot of greenery. But this one, I think it was like on a list of them, and it just grabbed me as soon as I went there, and it's been my favorite town to visit ever since.
And I guess, who's your favorite lion in that town?
Oh man. I think Rory is there. Rory used to be in my town. It's kind of funny though, because one of the characters in there that isn't a lion is actually one of my favorite characters in real life. It's Rosie. And she was in my very first save file in Animal Crossing Population Growing. And so it was really cool before the amiibo card thing happened and I didn't have her in my town to just go to Lion Town and be like, oh my gosh, Rosie's here. I can like talk to my best friend again.
I'm pretty sure she is a lioness, actually. A little tiny lion woman.
Technically,
I mean, cats are just, they are just lions and tigers, and they're just miniature versions.
Yeah, I like the lions a lot. I think in City Folk at one point I had at one point I just had a bunch of lions and tigers, and I was 100% okay with that.
Where were the bears?
I was waiting for it.
I know. I wish I had some bears. Maybe I probably had like blue bear or something. I tend to get blue bear a lot.
I think it's pretty common, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm going to have to check this out. What is the dream code to this town?
Yes. Dream code is 2B as in boy 000046 and 7AE2.
That's awesome. I'm excited to check it out. That's pretty cool.
Sure.
So Alex, you had picked a town as well. What is yours?
All right. So for my dream town, I actually picked the dream town of the person that I had the relationship with and all that from my story earlier. She did a lot of hacking to it, but originally it was a lot of it was built just from the ground up, like not actual hacking, like however you want to call it. But her town is called Foraoise. It's spelled it's got like this I think Irish type of spelling to it, but it's pronounced Foraoise. And
that I was gonna say that looks like Saoirse Ronan, the actress. She's Irish, so her spelling is kind of like that too.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, the dream address that I have for you guys is actually the summer version, but she has like a spring, summer, fall, and winter version, like each with like some different public works projects thrown in there, a little bit different layout, and it's like I thought that was awesome. I was like, that's so much work, but so crazy. And there's all these, there's like a cliff there that you can jump off with swimsuits there, so you can enjoy that. There's like plenty of opportunities to take like these crazy aesthetic Animal Crossing screenshots, and it's just, you can tell like a lot of work went into the town.
That's pretty cool. So I guess, are there like different codes to go to like during different seasons?
Yeah. Each version, if you want to call it that, is just technically a different town. And I think somehow through the hacking that she does or something, she's able to just have multiple towns, and each one is its own town and own dream address and everything.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Man, all of these sound so cool. Because this is making me think, for a while I was really into Stardew Valley, and I found kind of like that farm editor tool online. Like, it's just a little browser tool. But I liked that you could pick a different season for your render of it. So
Yeah.
I liked seeing all the different seasons. And yeah, that sounds like a really cool place to visit and just get an idea of, what is this place like in the spring? What is this place like in the summer?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That sort of thing. Yeah, I like that. And what was the code to that town?
This one's for the summer version I have here. It's 7E00007430E7.
Cool. And so, yeah, I hope people can find these when they listen back and write them down, and they can visit them too.
Definitely.
But maybe I think I'll probably go through some of these in my weekly updates, because I tend to go through Dreamtown. So maybe over the next 4 weeks, you'll all see some. And maybe you've already seen the first one, because low key, I kind of did mine. But anyways, let's let's check out Sergio. So Sergio, you picked a town.
Yes, I picked the infamous Aika village. So, Aika village, it's basically a story town. It tells a story through every part of the town that there is, the way the landscape is, the specific items placed in very precise location, and basically every house by the players in the game, it has its own little stories, and they're kind of connected, so you go from one to the others, and basically it's a story that has many interpretations, so you can interpret it differently. And overall, the theme is, it's kind of creepy. It's definitely more sophisticated. And one of my favorite parts of the Dreamtown is the use of Hypno KK, that song. Pretty much they use it in every house in the town. And it's kind of creepy. It has this like a theremin type instrument, and I've definitely tied it to this town, and just to overall creepiness. I think it's the creepiest KK somewhat, but I still like it a lot. So what I really like about Aika Village is basically that it's a storytelling, and it kind of inspires me to see what can be done with a town. And if you think about it, I don't know, for some reason I wouldn't imagine telling a story through a town before this. And after visiting Aika Village and learning about it, and learning about the different interpretations that people have of the story, it's amazing, and it's very inspiring to like try to do something like this, with a different theme, different story. But it just tells you that there's so much potential. Basically, taking items, taking elements, clothing, different things, and just making a story out of it with a town, a game that basically you play, but you don't really play to make a story. And then all of a sudden, with this mindset approach, you can do that. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool. I've gone through this town before, and it's just like, I like the things that they have done to kind of force you through it in a certain direction as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you feel like it wants you to see each house in the order that you see them, and they force you to do that by like, putting traps, like you can't walk this way, or there is only one bridge in the town, so there's only really one route to take to get to each house,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I really like that. I think that's super cool.
Yeah,
Super
and
well thought out.
exactly. It goes to show you that it takes a lot of talent to come up with something like that. And I think the Animal Crossing community is sort of known for that, for being very talented design wise, and with graphics, and with thinking outside the box. And I think this town shows that really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the theremin, you pointed that out too. I love playing with theremins. There was there's a museum in Arizona. I forget what the name is. It's like the Musical Instrument Museum or something. But we went there, and there's like a theremin that you can just play with, and
Ooh.
I was there all day.
Yeah, Sergio, when you brought up that theremin, I actually remembered playing with that in the Aika village the first time I saw it, and I was like blasted back to the past. Remember being cuddled up on my couch and being like freaked out for like a solid 30 seconds because I couldn't figure out how the pitch was changing and everything, and it was really weirding me out.
So I guess what is I'm sure people can find it, but what is the code for Aika Village?
Yes, the latest code is 2D as in David, 00002A as in Apple, 49A as in Apple, 0.
Cool. Yeah. So everybody can check that one out. I think I actually have done that one in a weekly update video. So that one exists somewhere. And you know what? I'm thinking about it now. Just to make it easy for everyone, I will put the dream addresses for these towns in the show notes. So the description, wherever you're looking, listening to the podcast, be it YouTube, iTunes, wherever, you can find all of the codes in there too. So
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put them in. So my town, I picked, I think it's most popularly called Erised, which is, I think, a reference to Harry Potter and the mirror of Erised, which is this mirror that Harry Potter looks into, and it essentially shows you what you most want. And for Harry Potter, for people who don't know, he lost his parents. He kind of wants those back, just a bit. But so anyways, I picked this town mostly because it's kind of what I want out of my town. It's really, it's set in an autumn type of setting. So it's autumn in this town. There are tons of greenery. There's tons of greenery. There's trees, there's bushes, there's flowers, there's clovers everywhere, mushrooms too. And they were very specific with like the flowers that they pick. Like they only pick like certain colors to really give their town a vibe,
Yeah.
Which is like, I know a lot of people asked me, excuse me, about some videos that I made where I was kind of digging up flowers and just keeping the red ones. And I was like, yeah, I just kind of want the red flowers. So I like this town for kind of, taking that into account, because I like when people are focused on the details of things. So anyways, they go even far and above where I really want to plant a bunch of like perfect fruit trees around my town. But instead of like keeping them perfect, I kind of want to shake them all as much as possible till they lose all their leaves and essentially wilt,
Right.
Because that really adds to that autumn vibe where, the colors have changed and fall has come, so now the leaves are falling.
Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it has this kind of vibe too. And then on top of that, like you can tell the Harry Potter theme with the 3 homes that are in this place, which is they're each witches, essentially. So some witches live in this place, and they all have this like really kind of rustic, rickety wooden furniture type of look for their houses. So yeah, when you walk into them, they're super cute. And I almost forgot to mention, after a while, I think I lost, I guess I didn't really like the patterns for paths after a while. It was just like the upkeep of them. Like if you have something that kind of implements like a grassy type of look into your pattern, you have to like keep updating that color to make sure it fits with the world as the seasons change, So just like the upkeep of that was hard. But with this one, like they kind of, instead of doing like big long paths of I guess patterns, they just kind of put little stones here and there. And I love that look too, like kind of like a stepping stone that you're just walking over, like in real life. So yeah, you'll follow these like little stepping stone paths to their houses, and everybody's dressed up like a cute little witch too. So yeah, it's a fun town to visit. And this one, I actually did a lot of research for towns when you brought up this thing, and it took me a long time to find one. Mostly because I like to look through them all pretty thoroughly, but this one, it stood out to me just because it calls out to my own little kind of like autumn, dark, naturey feel with kind of like a spooky vibe too. So yeah.
That's a good vibe to go for.
Yeah, and that's like my aesthetic right there. I love gloomy weather, so. So the dream address for this one is 4E0000A961 D as in dog A. So yeah, if you want to visit, like I said, I'm going to put all of these dream addresses in the show notes, so you'll all be able to find them and kind of see what we're talking about. I'm definitely going to visit all of your towns because I love lions and I love love too. Love stories are nice. Yeah, so this was really cool. I'm really glad you thought of this topic, Emilee. It was fun for me, at least, to just kind of look through different dreams and, hopefully one day get another badge for the dream address thing.
Yeah, right? Thank you.
Yeah, I forget how many you need for the second one, because I only have the one, which is, I think, 50 dream addresses that you have to visit.
So many.
Yeah, some of the badges really need to be balanced out a little bit.
Yes.
Because it's overkill. I think the second one's at like 100 or so.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to reach that.
Right. And I mentioned before that this is one of my regrets. I always pretty much missed out on going on Dream Towns. And I think in the new game, hopefully the feature returns. I'm going to really try to go at least once a day to either a random Dream Town or one that is recommended, or just different, like older copies of our towns from the Discord. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
That's a good idea. Yeah, make it like part of your daily schedule on Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's good to log in. And if you do want a place to start, the ones I tend to go to are the ones that are listed on our friend code spreadsheet on the Discord. Yeah, essentially a lot of people have put their dream addresses, and so every week on Sunday I will visit one. So yeah, I've gone to about 30 dreams now, almost 30.
Wow.
So yeah, sometimes I do a random one, but I prioritize the ones on the spreadsheet. So yeah, it's been fun.
Awesome.
Cool. So let's go ahead and move into our final topic for today. And it's kind of the big one. We're doing a special music episode. And this is inspired by Sergio's own podcast, Nintendo Jump. And they have done music episodes in the past where Sergio or somebody, whoever it's assigned to, will play a song. And then we will be tasked with guessing what that song is. And because this is an Animal Crossing podcast, of course, all of the options are Animal Crossing songs. So yeah, Sergio, take it away with our music episode.
Yes, definitely. And we wanted to give a big thank you to all of the developer and publisher teams that have worked on Animal Crossing games, as well as the composers that have worked on the wonderful music. Some of our submittals are by us directly, and the others are by Haken Villagers from our Discord group, such as the first one. This first submittal is by Jam from Discord.
All right, that was awesome.
That was so cool. Yeah.
Love that.
So I think Emilee, you are dying to answer this one.
That is KK Basa.
That is correct.
Woohoo!
Yeah, starting off with a good song, a solid song from the movie. I think a lot of people remember it from the
Yes.
movie.
Definitely.
Awesome. So our next track is actually by Alex, Coconut. So here we go.
The sweet scent of perfume lingers from within your room. It's the only thing about you that remains right here for me. So I'm sitting here, music drifting to my ears, sings a song of your face. If I only could erase you right from my broken heart, all I cannot bear, thinking of the times we shared. Now they're only in the past. How am I to last without your love? Please take these tears away. See me to another day when I finally can escape the memories and pain of your love.
Oh man, that was so nice.
That was so hard
Yeah.
not to sing along to.
Me.
All right. So this is your choice,
Yes.
Alex. Why am I not able to think of the name of this?
I know too. I know it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when it plays and where it plays. I'm having such a hard time.
I'm trying to think of the villager's house that like has this.
Oh, nice.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
very, I guess a synonym would be emotional.
Is it like KK Blues or something?
Not
I
that
think-
one.
Is it KK
Mm.
Lament?
No.
No.
No, that one's sad.
Oh.
Oh.
KK Moody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh yeah, it totally is. I think just hearing it in that style makes it feel like such a different song.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. When
Yeah,
I found
'cause
that
doesn't-
cover. Oh, go ahead.
It doesn't the I guess original one kind of have like kind of a saxophone type of vibe to it, or
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Yeah.
is the lyrical cover by Max from YouTube and uploaded in 2017.
Nice.
Yeah, when I found that cover, I didn't stop listening to it for like a week straight.
No, I can tell why. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to make its way into my playlists.
So our third submittal is by Chewy. So here we go. Track number 3.
Good luck to both of you on this one.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
so familiar. Oh my god. It's not. I just got to roll this out. It's not from Amiibo Festival, right?
Maybe it is.
Maybe it
Oh
is.
boy.
God.
Oh
This is my time
no.
to shine. This is my time to shine. Okay. Is this the Plaza?
No, not
No.
quite.
Mm. Mm.
Is this on the board at all? Like during a certain time on the party board section?
It is on the board, and it's almost during a certain time on the party board section.
Oh man, I'm like narrowing down everything. Emily, do you have any guesses?
Oh my gosh, I haven't played Amiibo Festival in like 3 years. I have no idea.
Is this the end of the game or like the is it
Yeah.
the end of the- it's the end of the game?
That's it.
Ah, yes.
Nice. Good job.
Oh man, I'm like the Discord resident like Amiibo Festival apologist. I should have got this right away.
Yeah,
better
as
than
I
me.
picked when I picked it and sent it to Sergio, I was like, all right, this one's going to be very tricky. But I know Alex has played a lot of Amiibo Festival and is a fan of the game. So if anybody's going to get it, it would be him.
I did my best. I did my best.
Our next track is by Dragon.
I know that one.
I might know it. I can't pin down the exact time.
I'm 90% sure I know which one this is.
My guess is 12 a.m.
Mm?
No.
It's,
Someone else go.
It's 6 p.m. in New Leaf.
I think it's 9 p.m.
Is it 7? It's 7 p.m., isn't it?
It is.
No.
Aw.
Oh
Raion.
man.
I thought it was 9 because I know I knew it was around 8 p.m., but I know 8 p.m. is the one that puts in kind of the title theme.
Yeah, I know 8 p.m. by heart.
And I was like, does this play before or after that?
Oh, nice. Gotcha.
Oh, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Our next submittal is by listener Second from Discord.
Okay, I know this one for sure, but I'll let you guys guess first.
I know it's your population growing, but I have no
Yes.
idea which track it is.
All right, this is a classic track that I should know when it is. Where I'm putting it at is somewhere between morning and afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
My first guess was 11 a.m.
I think it's 8 a.m.
You are correct. 8 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
I didn't think it was that early. I thought I guess I just woke up early to play Animal Crossing every day because I heard that track a lot.
Yeah. That's a good one. I love it.
So I selected this next track. So here we go. Track number 6.
It's a KK song for sure.
I know
just
exactly. I love this one.
Ooh.
Sounds like we have to go first. I can't put a name to it. I just know that little lick from the beginning. The do 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 do. What is that?
So good.
I'm just gonna guess. Is it KK Lament? I've said it twice now.
No, it is not. Any guesses, Emilee?
I was actually gonna guess my first thing too for the last KK song, which is KK Blues, but it's probably not.
No.
No.
So what do you think, Alex?
That is Steep Hill by KK Slider.
Yes.
Oh.
A funny story about that one, actually. I actually just back when I first discovered you could listen to KK songs and Animal Crossing songs on YouTube back in like high school. I just discovered like scary stories online, like creepypastas as well. So I don't know what about that song had that vibe to me, but I would always put that song on loop and then just read a bunch of scary stories.
Oh.
So for like a couple of years, anytime I heard that song, I started getting like chills. Like,
You conditioned yourself.
that's
Holy
awesome.
cow.
yeah, seriously.
So yes, Steep Hill from KK Slider. More specifically, The Steepest Hill by Justin Woods Music, Strings of the Woods, uploaded to YouTube in 2015. Pretty awesome cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you link that to me after the show? That was a good cover.
Yes, definitely. So our next track is by our very own Emilee.
All right.
Emilee with 2 E's. So here we go, track number 7.
I know you know this one, Chewy.
Oh, I know this one for sure.
Yeah.
I have like 2 times in my head when I'm like, I think I know which it's from Population Growing, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I have like 2 times in my head and I can't pick between 2 of them.
Well, you got to pick one of them.
I'll go with 2 a.m.
You got it.
Did I really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was 50-50. Oh my gosh. That was back when the population tracks, like the late night ones, were like really jumpy and bouncy, right?
Yeah, they're super weird.
Yeah, that one's really funky. What was your other time that you had in your mind?
1 a.m.
Oh, so close.
That one's more chill, I'm pretty sure. I think 1 a.m. is chill.
Awesome. And our 8th and last track is by Sully from Discord.
Yes.
Do you know for sure?
I do.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't.
KK something.
That narrows it down.
This is one of my favorite tracks, and I might have talked about it earlier in the Discord, but I'm not sure if anybody saw that little conversation that I had about it.
Oh man. Something like funky, jazzy, swanky. I can't get what kind of name it would have.
I think you're along the right tracks.
Is it KK Swing?
No,
You can-
it's not that one.
Oh, okay.
Is there a KK Funky?
I think there's a KK. I think it's called the Funk or the K-Funk
Right.
or something. But it's not that one.
Oh man, I have no idea.
So this one, at first I was thrown off because it didn't have the intro, which is my least favorite part of the song. But once I get past the intro, I can listen to this all day. But it is KK Jazz.
Correct.
Oh man, I was so close.
You said the word
Yeah,
jazzy.
Did I really? Oh no.
So yeah, I love that song so much. It's one of my favorites.
I can see why. Very jazzy.
Yeah, it's really catchy.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't really care for the intro of it, but once you're past that intro, you get to that really jazzy kind of riff, and yeah, it's just smooth listening from there on out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone that submitted, and thank you guys, you to our guests for helping us guess.
Oh, no problem. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you both so much for joining us on this show. This was quite the experiment, but I think it was worth doing. I think it was awesome. I've been wanting to do a music episode for a while, so thank you, Sergio, for getting that together.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you guys.
Yeah, so before we sign off and let you both leave, was there anything you both wanted to plug?
Oh, Emilee, I think you might have. I don't have anything to plug.
To plug?
Yeah, like your YouTube channel.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I guess I do have a YouTube channel. It's it's a work in progress. I really only have one Animal Crossing video on there, but it's literally just Emilee with 2 E's all spelled out if you're wanting to find it. And then my Instagram is also Emilee with 2 E's all spelled out.
Yeah, and in case it's not clear, Emilee, when you spell it out, has 2 E's as well.
Yeah, Emilee.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So thank you so much for joining us. I've been pretty excited about this. I'm sure you both were nervous, but you did
Little
great. It was super fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, please join our Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. And if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes and meet Alex and Emilee in internet. Not so much person. But if you do want to become a patron and get the opportunity to be on a show like this, please visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show, get tons of cool rewards, and you can see Sergio and my current goals for our show and how we're going to improve our content and everything. And we really try to make it worth it because we appreciate the support so much, and we're truly honored to be able to share this show with everybody. And if you're watching or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment about your favorite dream addresses or Animal Crossing tracks. And maybe we'll be able to visit some of those dream addresses too if you leave a comment with your code. And please leave a review of the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Alex and Emilee.
Thank you guys. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.